is going on, comic book familia? It's been a minute since we've done this show, Talking Comics. It's my fault. I just forgot I'm old. So, Peter and James had to remind me to do this show. So hopefully we'll be doing this show back to its monthly show. But guys, how you doing?
Very good, mate. Very good. Looking forward to this. Should be interesting.
I was good until I showed up backstage and Peter basically went, What's that about?
You are very, let's be honest, you've rushed in the last minute. And when you appeared on camera, there was a definite glisten and the hair was a bit,
No, it was my hair. I was in the gym earlier and I didn't have my hair mousse with me, so it went all poofy. So I put some water through it there just to try and fix it up.
You're not allowed to say that anymore.
Yeah, you just made it in the nick of time. I was going to go, Peter, we're going to go live. He said, yep, we're going to go live. So this show is called Talking Comics, where we each ask each other 3 questions. We each pick 3 questions. We don't know what the questions are, and 1 bonus question. So it's an easy show to do. We don't have to slave away doing all the slides and getting it ready. So it's just 3 comic book or entertainment related questions. And then after that, we ask each other a bonus question. It could be on any topic at all. But you guys ready?
Yeah. Should we see who's in the chat first, Efren?
Of course, I was about to say, take over the comments.
I'm chuckling away. James has just said he's been to the gym, or in the gym, sorry. Fuzzy wants to know if Jim minded. Filth. We've got Terry. Nice to see you, Terry. Hope you're well. Fuzzy of the Dunlop. Efren will not get this reference. Uvavu. Do you get that reference, Mr. Keegan?
No.
Oh, you have never lived. This was a comedy panel show called Shooting the Stars with Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer. And if you got a question wrong, they used to say Uvavu. And if you got the question right, it was Iranu, or it might have been the other way around. I can't remember.
Right.
Superb show. Superb. Yeah. We've got Andy. Nice to see you, Andy. And we have got good old Terry. Terry. Dan. Nice to see you too, Dan. Good stuff. We've got Ozzy AC. Good day, mate. Joshy Boy Toys is in the house. Good stuff. We've got Phil. Did you mind the kind of humor I love? I bet. Oh God.
Funny enough, I saw Jason Momoa down there as well. I thought that was pretty cool.
Did you? Yeah. I bet the bonus chat will be food related. Mine's not. I don't know about the rest of the guys, but mine's not. I can't wait for these blind tests. Fuzzy, I'm already worrying, mate. I sent Efren my questions last week, Efren, maybe?
Yes, last week, yep.
Yeah. And I'm starting to doubt myself. I've got a feeling I've asked one of these questions, the last question before. So
Fuzzy won't be happy.
Fuzzy will not be happy.
No.
You can let one know, and if he has, I've got a standby question for that exact eventuality. So yeah.
Cool. You guys ready to go? Sorry, man. It's hot in here. I'm putting on my air conditioning right now as we speak.
Did you not off, Efren? What happened?
No. I was trying to. It's getting hot. It's right now in San Diego. This is the hot weather. So it's gotta get where I live. I live near the coast, but it's still like about 80 degrees right now. So it's getting hot here. It's been a great time to visit. So you guys ready for the first question?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Nice to see you in.
So like I said, this is up Talking Comics. Sorry, and we each pick 3 questions that we're going to ask each other. We don't know what the questions are. Obviously, I put them together, but I forget what they are after a couple days. So I'm going to start off. Oops, let me bring it back up here. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Which fictional weapon would you want in a fight? I'm going to start off since I knew this is my question. God, I don't know why, but this is one of my favorite characters. I think I would just pick Hawkeye's weapons. He's got so many different type of weapons, or Green Arrow and their weapons. I just like the way they use them, So they have everything you can think of. They have a punching, a bat, a glove, all these sonic stuff, and I just like his vast array of weapons that he uses. So that's what I would pick in a fight.
I'd probably, because my mind jumped to Mjolnir, but then I'd have to be worthy to use it, and that's not going to happen. So, and then the Infinity Gauntlet, I'd probably just explode if I put that on. So, Iron Man suit, I think being able to fly, you're durable. Then you can take damage. You got a little helper basically to do most of it for you. I think that's pretty.
That is a weapon, yeah. That's a good one.
But I'm just very slow tonight, or I'm not catching the dialect. I thought at one point you said a gerbil. Then
that's what I thought you said too.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah,
gerbil.
You've got a gerbil. Endurable, I think, is the word you're trying to enunciate.
Durable.
Yeah, but you said
durable.
Okay,
I see.
Not a gerbil.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I like that. Which version of the suit are you going for? Are you going for War Machine? Are you going for the nanotech? The original.
I do like a War Machine. I do like the War Machine with the little mini cannon on the side. Yeah, probably go for that.
Okay. So, yeah. I mean, out of the easy answer for me is obviously Molyneux, but I'm going to go Excalibur. The Sword of Kings. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I don't know why. I'm just absolutely. We've talked about it before, haven't we? I'm a bit obsessed. I love my comic books, but I love my Arthurian legends as well. So I think the Knights of Camelot and King Arthur and all that kind of stuff is just a great story, and it's I mean, it hasn't got any magic powers, I don't think, from all the stuff I've read. It's just literally a sword. But
depends on the version, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd go good old Excalibur. Shall we see? Sorry,
I think Excalibur will unite the nation too. If you were wielding it, Peter.
Everyone will rally up behind you. Peter.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. You can imagine.
I'd rally behind you for sure.
I mean, now you're saying it, it sounds like a lot of effort. I'm going to have to do stuff, aren't I? Yeah, I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. Let's see what comments we've got. Fuzzy, lightsaber. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think of lightsaber.
Lightsaber's a good one, Fuzzy. Yeah, that was a good
I cut my arm off though, I think.
Yes.
Try and do a cool like Anakin spin and just
it'll be like, have you seen those that gif where he puts it to his face and presses the button and it goes through his head by mistake?
Oh yeah.
Do something like that. So lightsaber, that was Dan's first thought as well, to go for a good old lightsaber. Phasers, Star Trek phasers, and it's doing this again. So do you remember the last time when Ephron was in control and whenever I clicked stuff, it seemed to kind of disappear and things? Don't know what's going on. Star Trek phaser rifle on kill. Yeah, that would be very cool, like that. Nor do you look like a god. He's talking to you, James. Well, you look a little bit like Aquaman if you're blonde. Kind of. Do you know what I mean? Kevin says Aquaman's trident. Yeah, that'll be a cool one. A phaser can do everything from stun to disintegrate a building. Yeah. Wayne, I'm not reading that out. You dirty boy. You dirty boy. You've got to sharpen a sword, and that's massive. Bad choice, Pete. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah. Good question, Ephron. Nice one.
All right. Yep. It's your question is up next, Peter. You ready?
Yeah. I can't remember what I put in. Oh yes, yeah. I was flicking through some articles and things, and there was all this talk again because we've got a new Punisher series coming out, and there was all this talk again about should we retire his emblem because he's it's linked now to the thingy boys in America or something, the
Proud Boys,
the Proud Boys and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then it got us thinking there was some other stuff linked to it about violence in America in particular, and weapons and gun crime and all that kind of stuff. And it just made us start thinking about the good old comic book code and how we lost that, and now violence in comic books, and I guess you could say the media as well, movies and all the rest of it, is very, very prevalent. And I didn't know if we need to go back to something like the code for comic books. Do you think we need some kind of moderation within comic books, or do you think it's all right just letting loose?
There isn't like, I know like you have like the Marvel Max or there's kind of like parental advisory or whatever, but there's no actual age restriction on comics. Any kid can walk in and buy any comic, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, so it's not like a video or a movie. Yeah. James, I'm impressed. That's a really good point. Where you are moderated. Literally anybody can go and pick up a comic book. And sometimes I'm thinking of some of the recent ones I've been reading, like for example, yes, you could argue maybe a kid wouldn't be going and picking up the latest Aliens issue, but spoilers, people should have read it by now. Johnny Storm's head's sawn off, with a thing. He's ripped off. For a kid who's just watched Fantastic Four and goes to read that, it might be a little bit.
That is a good point. It's a very good point, actually. Yeah. I wouldn't be. I think the comic code was so authoritarian.
Yeah, it was too hard, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't be a fan of that. And certainly the branding of it wouldn't be well if they tried to bring that back or anything. But like having age ratings for comics, I wouldn't really. I wouldn't be against because I'd be old enough to buy any of them. But if you're like a 15 or 16-year-old and you love comics and then you're told you can't buy Punisher now, that would suck, So I don't know. I have two minds of it.
What do you think, Ephron?
Well, they have ratings for movies. A young person can't see an R-rated movie. They have PG-13. we've been so desensitized in this society now. The kids see it everywhere, So, gosh, that's a tough one. I'd say for maybe 12 and younger, yes. Have some kind of, hey, you can't, like those red band Marvel books. I'm not sure if kids can get those. I wouldn't sell it to them. I mean, it's like I said, there's so much violence in this world now. Kids doesn't phase them, like it used to. So, but I would say that's a good question, but it's tough.
Oh, yeah, and I absolutely don't think there's an answer to it. I don't know what I think, if I'm honest. Do I think violence in movies and comic books influences people to do violent and silly things? Yes, for a minority of people, but they were probably going to do ridiculous things anyway.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? When I was a kid, when I was 12, 13, maybe he's a bit younger than James is now, I watched all kinds of Rambo and, First Blood.
I watched Scream when I was 6. I played GTA when I was 10, and I think I turned out okay.
You seen Scream when you were 6 years old?
About 6 or 7, probably watched.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to watch horror. One of my favorite memories is I used to watch in our holiday home, watching horror movies with my dad. And I got nightmares from Hocus Pocus, but I didn't get nightmares from them.
Yeah.
So everyone's different.
Different generation.
Yeah, and Kev's just mentioned there, I'm not a big fan of any form of censorship. Yeah, I kind of agree, Kev. I kind of agree. I think it's a hard one. But I don't think, and I can't remember seeing it. Terry saying he thinks there's 17 plus in some comic books. I'm not sure, Terry. I don't think it would be a bad thing to have comics to have a recommended age rating or something along those lines. Do you know what I mean? Not something you would expect the comic book seller to stringently kind of police.
Yeah.
But to stop or to minimize kids picking up a book and it being a bit,
or for parents. I think parents who don't know what they're picking up. Like I have a little cousin who's about 6 or 7, and I have like a ton of from the comic book grab backs and stuff like that. I'd love to give him a big stack of comics, but I don't want to have to go through each and every one of them to check is there a swear word or someone gets shot in the face or something like that, So I'm just afraid because his mom is very would be very strict on what you can watch and stuff as well, So I'll just give him the Scooby-Doo shit.
Well, I mean, that's a good example, James. Again, you're on fire tonight, James. You're on fire. It's a good example.
Twice a day,
because,
Pete,
I think there is a difference between what I would class as cartoon or fantastical violence compared to a character like the Punisher, which is a guy with a gun. Do you know what I mean? That's a different. Anyway, spent a little longer on that question than I thought, but let's have a little look see at what people are saying in the comments. Andrew, don't think we need a code, but maybe slightly clearer age ratings. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Video, what is this? 1990. Video never died. Video never died. Yeah. Somewhere Luke's. Oh, echo. Somewhere Luke's ears have pricked up with the video talk. I thought there was a 70 comic books though. Yeah, I'm getting terrible echo, guys. I don't know if it's just me or if you guys can hear that.
No, I don't hear anything.
I thought there was a 17 plus in some comic books. Maybe Terry, I can't remember saying that, but can't say I haven't spotted it. I've been shocked once in a comic recently. It was that's Savage Dragon Mickey Mouse. That's a great point.
Talking about that. Yeah,
I don't think there's any issue with comics. It's I think you're right, Fuzzy. I mean, again, that was a bizarre one. Bizarre. Some say adults only. Okay, whether comic shops monitor those who's buying them is another thing. Yeah, comic publishers complain we don't buy enough comics as it is. The last thing they want is to restrict comics. Yeah, I think you're right, Fuzzy. Explains so much, James. I think this is you watching Scream. With all the wars and senseless killing going on in the world, have kids become immune to it? Yeah.
The other argument is they're just seeing this stuff elsewhere and worse stuff elsewhere anyway. Because most 8-year-olds have a phone now nowadays. I don't necessarily agree with that, but parents just slap a tablet in front of them nowadays.
I mean, absolutely right. And the stuff that can access is horrific. Even Sorrel, nice to see, bud. Below a certain age, it's a parent's responsibility. I doubt most are aware comics have age ratings at all. That is true as well. They say mature or teen. Okay. That's good stuff. We've got Pod Racing Palpatine. Nice to see you. Just doing a script for Volunteer of the Green Arrow. All of those issues say suggested for mature readers. Okay, that's very good. Good to know. Echo. Good stuff. There we go. That was
Question.
my nice, easy question for you.
That was a great one, actually.
I'd hate to be a parent. I mean, parent, not hate, but being a parent to a younger child right now. I don't know. I mean, my daughter was growing up. There was no phones basically, so I didn't have to worry about that. But kids have access to it now, and what do? Look over their shoulder the whole time.
So when my kids were a little bit younger, you could put kind of parental controls on their iPads and stuff like that. But the truth of the matter is, the kids are far more tech savvy than I've ever been. So you put a parental control on, and Thomas had cracked his within a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were watching all kinds of stuff. It's not easy. Fuzzy's got a great point. Just ban video games. They're the problem. Absolutely, Fuzzy. Absolutely. Boring as well.
James would be the leader of that revolt if that happened. So speaking of James, you ready for your question?
Let's do it.
All right, you're up.
What Alien or Predator crossover would you love to see? So I've been in a big Alien Predator buzz at the moment. There's loads of crossover stuff like with Justice League and Marvel stuff recently as well. So I'll give you a second to think. My one, Evil Dead, Ash. I think Ash versus Alien versus Predator would be a really cool one to see. He does crossovers all the time with like Red Sonja and I'm going blank now, but there's like there's a Freddy and Jason one. There's all different ones. So like I think that would suit really well. I just love Ash versus a Predator. I think would be really cool.
Do we have to pick both Alien or Predator, or just one of them?
Like you could do just Alien or just Predator, or both. Together, like Alien versus Predator versus if you want to. So.
Just on top of my head, I would love the Predator go up against Galactus. If Galactus invaded their planet, see how they would fight against somebody that's tougher than them.
That would be a cool one. Is Galactus comes to their planet to eat it, and then fighting back. That'd be really cool, actually.
I've been watching. I watched Predator Badlands recently, and I've said this before in the past. They're just a bunch of bullies. They just go up against people who don't have the same powers as them.
Well, they're all about honor and all this crap, but half the time they just blow someone's head off. Like, from
what honor? I mean, they have. They go that Predator Badlands. I mean, they go back like hundreds and hundreds of years where people's technology is not up to date. What they have, and they have that invisibility cloak, and they just sneak up and gang up on people.
Yeah,
I mean, what honor is that? So I would like to see. Anyway, I keep on talking about. I would like to see Predator versus Galactus. I think Galactus would kick their ass.
Very cool. Sorry, my dogs are going crazy. That's why I'm muting myself. It wouldn't be much of a fight, but I would love to see Aliens, Predator versus Punisher. I know we've just been talking about them, but ultimate of killers versus ultimate hunters and whatnot. I think that would be very cool. But one that I think would be even better, piggybacking on Efren's idea, really, of Galactus visiting a different planet. I would like to see something where you've got Vader and the Empire going to take over a planet and it's inhabited by aliens or something like that. That would be pretty cool.
It's Disney, cool you could get that at some point. That would be absolutely insane.
Chris has literally just jumped in the chat. Honestly, I said that before I saw that, Chris. Yeah. I think that would be pretty cool. We've got a few comments, Efren. Let's jump to that. We have got we've got Chris Bell. Nice to see you, Chris. True story. Comic age ratings turned up at my local gym. Yeah. We've got John's Comic with Friends. Nice to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well. Aliens versus Mars Attacks. I don't think they've done that one, Fuzzy. They've done Mars Attacks. Is it Mars Attacks versus Red Sonja at the moment?
Yep, they've done that,
but that would be very cool. That would be very cool. Alien Predator buddy cop movie. Yeah, good work. How about Aliens versus X-Men? They've already done that with the Brood, really, haven't they?
Yeah.
But it would be good. E.T. versus Predator. I hate that prune face. You just stand in them. Galactus. You just squidge the lot. Doctor Who, Alien. Yeah, that could be. Well, that would be very interesting, wouldn't it, Terry? Because the good Doctor, I think he has, but he very rarely kills, doesn't he? So he wouldn't. How would he combat an alien race like that? Yeah, really interesting. Alien versus Venom. I want to see who venomized Xenomorph. Yeah, that would be interesting. Let's see. Jedi versus Predator. Chris pinched my idea. Care Bear versus Aliens. Gee, God's weird. Alien and Predator versus Panel Breakers. Be a massacre. Yeah. Two girls in a xenomorph. Yeah, that would be did they ever say what planet ET was from?
I would say within the Star Wars canon, there's probably a planet name for the ET species you see in it.
I don't know.
I'm not sure myself though.
There was a weird sequel to ET, wasn't there? We talked about that one. It was shows a little while ago that it was in a book. And it was never released, but they planned it. It was gonna come out. It was where the kids, I think some intergalactic bounty hunters or something, go and kidnap the kids' parents so they get back in touch with ET to go on an adventure and
almost like a predator.
Yeah,
they go and kidnap the parents.
Exactly.
Yeah. There you go. It's writing itself.
Aliens versus James's bed covers. Aliens versus Howard the Duck versus Detective Pikachu. That will be crackers. Fuzzy. Aliens home was home. Yeah. There you go. We're up to date, Efren.
Okay. So I'm up next. This one, my next question, this has bugged me for a long time. I don't know which one. I know which one I'm going to pick, obviously. It's, if you could erase one storyline from comic book history, which would it be? Mine is easy. One More Day, when they dissolved the marriage of Peter Parker and Mary Jane because Aunt May was dying, and Peter made a contract with Mephisto to save Aunt May, but the only way he would save her was to dissolve their marriage like it never was. And then at the very end, this little girl comes out with red hair, like an image of her, and it happens to be their child that was never going to be born. Then he dissolved it. I went, that's messed up. I hated that. I sent messages to Dan Slott on Twitter when that occurred. It bugged me so much. I mean, I just didn't like that at all. So if I could get rid of one, it would be that one.
That's a tough question, Efren. Rather than a big kind of crossover event or something like that, and this is a bit of a get out answer because it's saving a character that I love that shouldn't have been killed. Death of Eric, the death of Thunderstrike. I don't feel it added anything to the mythology. It kind of, he was a popular-ish character that wasn't really given enough time to breathe, and then they just literally killed him in a couple of issues, and then he's not really ever come back. He's kind of been featured now and then, but it just felt like a pointless waste. My only other one, although I would have to say, Mr. Keegan, Googling away there. The only other one, but it had some good elements, was I wasn't a big fan of the whole Captain America becoming a Hydra agent.
Yeah.
It's like
stupid publicity stunt of that.
Yeah.
I agree with you with Eric Masterson. I liked him as Thor. I thought he was a good character, but when they did him, they killed him off. His son is now, that version of him.
Yeah, but a weird version.
Been around for a couple years,
Yeah.
So I really like this character. Show like a humanized Thor.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. That's a good one. I like that.
I would have gone Bran One More Day as well. Just a weird, like, one, just undoing canon in a really lazy way. I just don't find Mephisto a character that suits Spider-Man stuff as well, so I thought that was sort of weird as well, so I hated that one. If I had to pick another one, Clone Saga, just not a fan of it. Thought it was weird. And I know 90s Spidey is sort of considered like in terms of the comics is kind of the on point. So probably
I just thought of one more. I know some people liked it, but when Doc Ock took over Peter's body, Superior Spider-Man,
love it. It's so much
Love
better
it.
than it sounds. Yeah.
I just, come on. See, that was another one. I just thought of that one too. That one bugged me. So
no, I like that one. Got a few suggestions in the comments. Batman City of Bane. I don't think I've ever read that, Dan, but that's the one where they killed Alfred. Did he ever come back? I'm not sure if he came back.
Alfred did not come back. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Terry saying Batman has it right. Fuzzy, I wouldn't get rid of any. What I dislike, many others love. That's very true. There's always a fan of some story and someone that doesn't like it. MJ marrying Paul. Yeah, Paul is a bell end. Yeah, that was an odd choice. Feral. I dropped off after issue 2. Efren, any either of you guys reading Feral still?
I've been reading Feral, and the last issue, I was like, they're showing cats having sex.
Oh.
I was like, okay. What's going on here now, man? It wasn't gratuitous sex, obviously, but they showed the act of it. I'm like, oh, why is he putting this in there for? MJ married Paul, but that's her latest boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
She just broke up with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorrel's got a good one. Didn't think of that. Civil War 2. Less about that, the better. Hated that story. Yeah, me too. It was tripe. Absolute tripe. Every time Marvel tries to make a popular villain an anti-hero, delete the last 20 years of Venom stories. Both good points. Yeah.
I've not read them, but the Venom verse stuff I feel like is just a step too far as well. Yeah. Where like it's you're just doing Spider-Verse Venom. I'm just like,
Yeah.
All right.
Batman relaunched this week. I fully expect Alfred to just be there. Yeah, I haven't read it yet. Yeah. I love the original Civil War. Yeah, me too. But two was trash. What was the other one? The Inhumans versus the X-Men or something. That kind of came and went.
Yeah.
So it was when they were trying to get the kind of the Inhumans to be the premier Marvel team because they didn't have the rights to X-Men to make movies and stuff.
Versus Avengers then?
Something like that. I just seem to remember it was this big multi-event and it was naff. Yeah. Good one. Good question.
You are up next, Peter. You ready?
Yeah, yes.
This one and your question.
Oh yeah. So I guess we've just had Superman out in the cinemas, and this is kind of more movies, I guess, than movies and books, really. And Superman just kind of brought us back to a bit of, I think, joy and color palettes and optimism in movies. But a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people prefer the Zack Snyder darker tones of the heroes and things like that. I was just wondering what you guys think. Do you think DC should have stuck with the dark take on the heroes within the comic books? I mean, Absolute Batman at the moment is a pretty dark book that's doing really well. Or do you think they should embrace the sillier, more colourful versions of the characters and go for that?
Gosh, that is such a good. I think it just depends on where society is right now. Like in the 1960s, when Batman came out and the TV show was all lighthearted and hippies and all that stuff, So I think it all depends on the era. The era we're in right now, I think, unfortunately, they should go to the darker tones, But also have some light moments every now and then. Because we got to remember, comic books. I mean, we're adults now, obviously, but a lot of comic books are, if you want to bring kids into it, they're younger.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's a good question. I think it also depends on the character.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Because we can have like a fun, lighthearted Superman thing and a super dark, brooding Batman thing, and they can exist in the same universe. Like, as someone who's like a fan, I loved like the Zack Snyder stuff. Like Zack Snyder's Justice League is one of my favorite superhero movies. And I think it's a tragedy we didn't see a part 2 of that just to wrap up that kind of like the dark side stuff and everything. But I'm happy with the tone that Superman was in, and I'm happy to see the Justice League stuff at least be more kind of in line with that. But then like we're not going to get a lighthearted Batman movie. Like that's done. We're going to get something dark, and there'll be some supernatural stuff or maybe a little bit more silliness. But like the movie itself, I think will be fairly dark and brooding.
But it's interesting, isn't it? Because I think there is a market for silly Batman. There is a market for Adam West. There is a market for Batman and Robin, Batman Forever. They were very cheesy, But I don't know. I kind of reflect on. I reflect on the differences between Man of Steel and the recent Superman film, and I've watched them both again recently, and it is night and day. And I think it absolutely depends on, like you say, absolutely depends on the character. So for me, as much as Man of Steel is a decent film, it's not Superman that I know or recognize.
I would say, my opinion would be Man of Steel is a better film, but Superman's a better Superman movie. And a better version of Superman in it. That's my opinion. I think just as a film itself, I love Man of Steel. I thought it was like amazing. But yeah, no, it also just shows how malleable these characters are. You can go drastically one way or the other, and it can work either way.
I guess it depends. Sorry, it depends on, as everyone's just said. Really, it depends on your connection to the character. Do you know what I mean? If you're used to a darker Batman, seeing or watching a light-hearted Batman is going to be very jarring. But if you were brought up on the 66 Batman and that was your jam, you might yearn for a more silly version, It's I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. Sorry, Efren.
It's okay. I think Peacemaker, for example, the show that's on right now, it has dark tones in it, but also has comedy in it at the same time. So it can be done, but Peacemaker is a lesser known character than Batman, for example. I don't know if Batman could pull that off.
But then, like, after Peacemaker, the next show is Lanterns, and that's supposed to be like a true detective, very serious, like dark story. So I that's what I like about what Gunn is setting up is we're going to have these drastically different tones, but it's all going to be one thing. You know, I think that's really cool.
It's interesting. We watched a film the other night, which I'm going to talk about on tomorrow night's show. Plug. Called Red Sonja. So we watched Red Sonja, and afterwards I asked my wife what she thought, and she goes, I enjoyed it. I was like, really? Right, okay. She says it was lovely to watch a film that didn't have all the silly Marvel humor shoved in it. And I thought, oh, right, okay. So I don't know if some people, some audiences are getting tired of the Marvel branded humor, which I just thought was really interesting. Great. Jump to the comments, guys. That's it. I think that's what I'm trying to talk about, Andrew. Not in humans at all. It's the externals or something. The AX Avengers, X-Men Eternals. ABZ, nice to see you, bud. Hope you're well. I'd like some more lighter books from time to time. I'd love a campy old school Batman, to be honest. They did the Batman 66 book a while ago with Alex Ross covers, and it was really good. It was a good, fun story. Why do they have to do one or the other? Some characters are lighthearted, some are dark. Yeah, they don't, Fuzzy. You're absolutely right. You don't have to have one or the other. It's either way, I guess. Do it all. Saying that, my friends who are casuals hated the new Superman movie. Hated it. Wow, that's interesting, Phil. That is interesting. Got to do both. Sticking with one is a dead end either way. There's space for dark and irrelevant. Yeah. Is Peacemaker light or dark? In the middle, innit? In the middle.
Yep.
Yous have a thing for banishing something. Share the love. Just making questions to try and generate some discussion, Fuzzy. It would be boring if we just sat here and didn't.
What's your favorite number?
Yeah. I personally don't want to see silly Batman in a movie. Yeah, I think I'm the same, Phil. I have to be honest.
For me, the tone I want is Batman the Animated Series, where we can have like kind of light, fun moments, and there's some more outlandish stuff. Like we're gonna have this is a universe where there's gonna be a Poison Ivy and there's gonna be a Batmite probably and stuff like that. So that's the tone I go for, I think.
Yeah, Keega's wrong again.
It was my opinion, Fuzzy. I don't think that can be wrong.
I think you were wrong. I'd watch stupid Batman films all day, every day. More shark repellent, the better. Everybody's saying what the favorite number is. Man of Steel is a movie for fans. Superman is for comic fans. I would agree with that, Andrew. I would agree with that. Superman's comic come to life. I think Man of Steel was much more, I don't want to say grounded, but yeah.
Oh, they were going for a Dark Knight thing. Like that's what they're modeling off of,
It was just boring. I hated the 66 Batman. I don't want that in the comics. Yeah. I mean, I didn't mind the 66 Batman as a point in time, but it's not the Batman I enjoy watching. I hope DC learned from the human mishaps of Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. Yeah. And then lots of different numbers. 69 is the favorite. Gritty Batman for me, ABZ. There we go.
All right, James, you're up. You ready?
Can't even remember what this is.
This is also DC related. So,
what DCU actors would you like to see come back for the DCU? So, James Gunn we've had a few already like confirmed Blue Beetles coming back. We know from like Peacemaker that there's a couple of carried over from like the Suicide Squad movies and stuff, and obviously the Peacemaker show. But James Gunn said there's like still room for a couple of more. So I'm just curious, like, is there any that you think, that would make sense they could bring him back? I think he was talking about Idris Elba from Suicide Squad. I feel like any of the Suicide Squad are kind of fair game to come back from like the Suicide Squad movie. So I honestly I didn't even have a particular actor in my head myself. I was just curious about your opinion of it.
So when you say DCEU actors, are you talking about like the most recent actors, or can it go back farther than that?
If you go back further if you want to.
Okay, my pick, I just top of my head, it's been a while since I've seen this movie. I'm talking about the actor's portrayal, not the movie. Okay, but I like Jim Carrey as the Riddler. So I thought he was a good character. He had the same kind of build as him, slim and tall, and just his antics. I really enjoyed that part of the movie. Not saying I enjoyed the movie, just his portrayal of that movie. I liked him as the Riddler.
So you'd like to see what you do with it now?
Yeah, I would.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I'd like to see that as well.
I mean, the obvious answer and the correct answer, James, is good old Michael Keaton coming back to do a Batman Beyond. So having him as the mentor to Terry McGinnis, that's the right answer. We're that close, yeah.
Yeah.
I think some of the guys in the chat are absolutely right. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn is just perfect casting. But I have to say, and I know people are excited because he is confirmed to be coming back, but as a different character. I really liked I forgot his name. As Aquaman.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, more. I liked that first Aquaman movie. It's different to the character, but that's because I'm not a massive Aquaman fan, I guess. But I thought that first Aquaman movie was really fun. The second one,
I got into it and I stopped. I was just like,
it's not the best. But I liked Momoa as Aquaman. I thought he was pretty good.
I think he suits Lobo more.
I'd say I don't like the character of Lobo, so I'm not really bothered.
I'd like to see Ray Fisher come back as Cyborg.
No,
didn't like him.
No.
I thought he was great in that role. I thought he got hard done by, and I'd like to see him. You want to go younger, do you, for Teen Titans?
Yeah, I want to go Titans. I think none of us are suggesting the guy who did the Flash.
Ezra.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
but if we're gonna extend it, actually, Grant Gustin, the guy who played Flash in the TV show, I would like him back as the Flash.
That's a good one.
And I'd also love Michael Rosenbaum to get some kind of appearance back as a Lex Luthor again, because I thought he was superb as Lex Luthor from Smallville.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. Should we go to the chat? Let's see what we have got. Margot Robbie, Harley of the Quinn. Idris, obviously. I think Gunn has pretty much confirmed that. Yeah, I think so as well. Idris and Margot Robbie. It'd be very hard to place Harley. Yeah. Early next year when I'm 69, I have an idea for a 69 based video. Just need to buy the right comics. Terry, I'm not sure you know how that reads, mate.
A video of you 69ing.
Yeah, I mean, you might not get that past the YouTube challenges, but we've got Samurai Media Mainframe Global. Nice to see you, bud. Hope you're well. Andrew, I don't want anyone back. I want to be talking about the character and the film, not the gimmicky casting. I'm done with that now. Yeah, good point. Good point. Jason's going to be an amazing Lobo. He will suit that role to the ground. Yeah, that's a good one, Kev. The girl who played Magic was a good fit.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, she was excellent. That's a really underrated movie. Underrated movie. New Mutants. It was very good. Very good.
That's a good one. We done with the comments, Peter?
Yep.
Okay, so my question, I'm going to change it. Just one word. Who's your favorite, not the best, who's your favorite comic book sidekick? So I'm going to go back to the DC universe. To me, it's Dick Grayson, the original Robin. And he became his own, standalone leading character. So I've always enjoyed him, his whole arc, from when he was Robin until now. So that's who until he's now Nightwing. That's my favorite comic book sidekick.
Google's getting a battering tonight, James, isn't it?
I just need some inspiration, man. I want to listen to like a picture from it,
I'm gonna go. I would have gone Nightwing, one of my favorite characters. But sidekick, it's hard because he was the sidekick, but I enjoyed him more when he stepped out of the shadow. I would have gone Wally West, Kid Flash, but my love for that character grew after Crisis when he became the Flash, not necessarily Kid Flash. But probably that's my favorite one I have to go with, I think.
I feel like a lot of these characters, it's when they aren't the psychic anymore, is when they really excel, Like, so for me, like Jason Todd was the first one that came to my mind, but it's not his role as Robin, it's all the Red Hood stuff since then. Harley Quinn, Joker psychic, so that's up there for me as well.
Yeah.
I think like as a sidekick, that's where I like her. I like her Joker side, and I like their dynamic together.
Crypto as well. suppose, as a sidekick.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Lockheed from the
Yeah.
too, you know. So yeah.
Lucky.
Lucky, yeah. You know, there's so many good. There's no one right answer. I mean, it's like I said, it's your favorite, not your best. Who's your favorite?
But like I think each of those we've just said there are all characters I enjoy once they've stepped away from being a sidekick. Even Bucky,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I don't know much about when he was with Cap. It's when he becomes Winter Soldier and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's see what the chat are saying. See if anybody's got any inspiration. Oh, Gabby from X-23.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Yeah, she's quite. I've got her first appearance. I've not really seen much of her, to be honest.
She's coming back in the comic books recently. She's going to be coming back in X-23's book. You know.
Okay, very cool. Are any of them sidekicks? DC and Marvel make books for everyone. That is very true. The answer is the hero of a generation, Bailey Briggs. I don't know who that is.
I know who that character is, but I'm forgetting. Can you tell us exactly who Bailey? Oh, that's the. I think that's the new Spider Boy.
Ah, of course it is. Yeah. I've not read a lot of his stuff, to be honest. Obelix from Asterix. Oh, I loved Asterix and Obelix. You guys familiar with Asterix and Obelix?
No. Heard of it, I don't know.
Oh, superb. That was the books you used to get at school when it was a rainy day. Asterix the Gaul. Yeah, it's just superb. Batgirl's not even close. Love Dungeon Crawl, Kevin Coldell, Gabby, though. Yeah. Alfred. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can you do me a Keegan as Jason Momoa card commission? Oh, Jesus.
I would catch my likeness, James. What? I don't know.
Yeah. Batgirl from 66. When you saw that intro on TV as a young man, you knew it was a good episode. I'm surprised James hasn't given any of the Scooby gun for Scooby. Are they not sidekicks? Not sidekicks?
They're all equals.
They're all equal parts of the team.
Equals. Yeah.
See, I would have said Willow is Buffy's sidekick.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah.
Snowy from Tintin. Alfred. Very cool. Okie dokie.
Oh, all right. You are up next, Peter.
What we got? I think we might have talked about this before, but I've recently watched V for Vendetta and absolutely loved it. And it's not exactly the movie, but it is pretty close to the movie, as is Fuzzy Wins, as is Penfold. You guys know Penfold?
No.
Danger Mouse. You must have crikey, Chief. Yeah, that's my Penfold impression. Yeah, V for Vendetta is pretty close. Watchmen is very close. And then we'll watch stuff like, as an example, Secret Invasion, which has nothing to do with the comic book it's based on. And in fact, as we mentioned on some of the shows previously, the writers were told, don't even read it, don't.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? So I know, I understand why they've got to change some storylines. But do you think that they should try and keep closer to the source material for some of these big books? Like we've got what you call it? What's after Doom?
Secret Wars.
What's Secret Wars coming out? Do we want that to be near to the Secret Wars books? Or I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think you want to leave room for surprises, even for the comic book fans. So I think sticking going one for one, like it works for some self-contained things like Watchmen. But like generally, like there's too much comic history coming into the storylines to do them nearly one for one. And then often you have to sew these in. Why I hated that they used to do, and they don't really do it anymore, was they'd like cherry pick 3 storylines and they'd mash it all into one thing. Spider-Man 3 is 3 different comic book arcs, So I like when a movie picks one. Like I think Winter Soldier did it really well. Like that, there's a lot of changes, but generally the Bucky Winter Soldier thing, is straight from the comics. I think having like iconic comic moments recreated on screen is really cool. So like I would say closer, but like I wouldn't say do it one for one.
I mean, we got Daredevil, didn't we? We got the iconic bullseye side through the stomach kind of thing, which looked pretty cool. What about you, Efren?
When you said, I think I remember reading this too, that in Secret Invasion, they told him not to read the book. That's a mistake right there.
Yeah.
Read it.
It was a thing for all the Disney Plus stuff was like the writers were all told not to read any comics.
read it, use it for reference, so you know maybe it may influence you, and when you create the actual story for the movie. Obviously, they can't go word for word from a book to the movie, but they should just, yes, they should stick closer to comic book storylines, not all the way closer, but just some reference of it, a little bit at least. When they do Secret Wars, I don't know what they're going to do. You know, obviously in Secret Wars, it was the good guys versus the bad guys. You know, I think they should. You know, will they? I don't know. I think the people who make these movies are not, to a point, comic book readers like we are.
I think I can accept new movies and things like that. That's absolutely great, and I love that. But then don't use the name of the property. Do you know what I mean? Don't call it Secret Invasion if it's not Secret Invasion. Yeah. I guess I get more disgruntled when they completely alter characters or origins, or and like change the makeup of the character in some way, you know. I guess I was thinking, I think I talked about it on a show last week or the week before, when I watched that Masters of the Universe documentary, and the guy who kind of did the character designs and things for the film was talking, and he was literally angry, you know, about, I'm not using their crappy designs. I'm going to make my He-Man. I'm going to make my Skeletor. And it was like, well, why are you making a Masters of the Universe film then? Because who do you think's coming to watch it? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of the stuff that I think is interesting.
Yeah. Be true to the story, at least.
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
Instead of just taking the name, yeah.
Depends on the comic movie, to be fair. Like Watchmen and V for Vendetta are great, but I like it when Marvel change stuff, as we know the outcome of everything. Wouldn't it be boring? Yeah, that is true. I don't mind them changing stuff around or using the broad strokes. Spotty from Super Ted. Yeah, Texas Pete. I used to love Texas Pete. Comic deal. Actually, it's got to be Penny from Inspector Gadget. I love Inspector Gadget. I mean, literally, she solves the problems and stops Inspector Gadget from being a complete bumbling idiot. Yeah, that's true. He was a wet blanket. I hated Spot. Penfold, voiced by Terry Scott, very underrated. Dina from Powers series by Bendis is a great psychic. I've never read Powers. You guys read Powers?
Nope.
I read the first few issues when the show was on.
Yeah, it's like, was there a show? Was it? I missed that.
The DC one, Vanessa Hudgens one, Powers. Am I mixing this up with the other one? Oh no, sorry. This is the sorry. This is the.
This
one,
is it's a crime kind of thing, I think.
There is a show. It's your man from District. Sony made it and put it on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah, okay.
It's your man from District 9, to the main guy, and he's in the 18 movie.
Yeah, okay.
As Howling Murdoch.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was mixing up with Powerless, but now Powers I've read as well. The first arc. Anyway.
Yeah, I've not read. It's regarded as one of Bendis's best, isn't it? But yeah, it's not one I've read.
10 years ago, but I remember liking it.
Yeah. If they give a movie a title of a book story arc, they should stick to it or give it another title. Yeah.
Yep.
Do both. Don't use a title and not tell that story. Yeah, that's what I think as well. Smiley face from the Dunlop. Agree with Terry. I don't mind, but if they call it the book arc, then it should be that. Yeah, or at least resemble that, I think. Secret Invasion is easily Marvel's worst project. I'm not going to say anything fuzzy. I'm not going to say anything because there is one worse, but it'll upset fuzzy.
I think it is the worst thing they've ever done.
They've totally forgotten about it, haven't they? They've not seen any of those characters back in anything.
The rug as best I could as well, you know.
Yeah. I don't mind either way. It bugs me when they take the title but don't use the actual story. Yeah, I agree, bud. I agree. He-Man being the real world was a mistake. Well, we're going to get more of it when the film comes back, Kev. That's where they're going to start a lot of it. Some of the DC animated changed who the villain was, telling of the story. Speaking of DC animated, Terry, that's a good point. You know, we get a great retelling of the Killing Joke, and then they chuck in a really weird subplot of Batman having sex with Batgirl, and it's like, where the hell? Who have you not seen that
animated?
No.
So it's because the Killing Joke is quite short. They needed to get 80 minutes out of it, so they stuck on the first half of it is like a completely original Batgirl story, but she has sex with Batman in it, and it turns out that they're
Barbara Gordon.
Yeah.
That's isn't
and
that
she gets shot by the Joker. So it's weird, really weird.
But that's what I mean. It's like I just don't you would imagine anybody that's a comic book fan or reader at that pitch meeting would be like, what? Batman, and it's just
someone wrote it though. Someone like a big comic book. I can't remember who it was, but someone noteworthy wrote that, and I was like, I remember I only heard it last week, and I was like, I can't believe they did that. Like, yeah.
It's a really great read. Powers, not too long series. Okay, I'll try and get that one. Hush was the same. I've not watched the Hush one, Terry. They changed the end. How can they change the end of Hush?
He's not this way.
That Killing Joke change is a shocker. Spoiled the best Batman book ever. I just don't get it. Just don't get it. They did that with Nightwing and Harley too. Batman putting the Batwang to good use. Didn't Harley rape Nightwing in one of them? Yeah. I think I've got that one on DVD. She ties him to a chair or something, doesn't she?
A bed. He's tied to a bed, and she strips off.
Anyway, that's a nice, cheerful question that I asked you there.
James, you are up next. You ready?
Yep. Is art or writing more important in comic books? So I'm curious your opinions on this, because like I feel like a lot of the time, like you'll be talking about something. You know, I got 2 issues in, but I didn't like the art, or I got 2 issues in, I didn't write the story. But we're curious, like, is there a comic that you love the story of, but the art sucks, or a comic that you love the art, but the story just didn't grab you?
So Fuzzy, we'll give James a break because he hasn't always done this show. We've definitely had this question before, but before James joined. Right. So for me, it is no. For me, it's definitely the writing, but the art brings so much to the. I don't think you can have one without the other. I think it's the writer who makes the story in the interesting world, but if you're paired with a bad artist, it just sinks it. So. They'll hopefully not be watching, but a writer who I absolutely adore, who writes horror books predominantly, when he's paired with a certain artist, I'll read anything he's written because it sings, you know. Everything he's written over the last year or so where that artist isn't part of it, I just kind of bear it. So, and Fuzzy might know which book I'm talking about. He's recently put a book out this last week or two about a woman who turns into a monster and eats her dates. And I just can't, the writing's probably great, but I just can't accept it because of the art, you know. It's weird. So yeah, I think you can't have one with you. Well, you can, because you can have books, can't you? It's a shitty question.
You literally don't need the art, because it just be a book.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a stupid question.
For me, thanks. For me,
pass.
It's the story. I think that's always the most important. I can get over bad artwork if I'm really enjoying the characters in the story. Art doesn't really bother me that much. Like we've had a couple. I've been reading a lot more lately, and there's a couple of things you'd read as well, and you said I didn't like the art, and then I'm like, it didn't really stick out to me.
Yeah,
you know. So,
God, I think we did ask that question before, but oh my gosh, I think writing's more important, but it takes away from the storyline. If you ask me, if the artwork's bad, sometimes I tend to over focus on the art when I'm reading the storyline. But to me, I think if it's not good writing, it's like a regular book. If it's not good writing, you're not going to read it. You know? I think writing is more important than artwork. You know.
A couple of people in the comments, Phil, if the art is really stinking, I wouldn't read it. It does turn you. You don't get to, even if the writing is first class, you don't get to appreciate it because I've sometimes switched off by the time I'm on a couple of pages of bad art. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. What was that Turtles book we read?
Everything was bad in that.
Awful.
Yeah.
The story was crap as well. James Comic Deal, if he's here, he's the one who suggested it.
Yeah.
Terrible. No good.
That isn't most important. It's what do you prefer?
Most important to you.
Yeah.
So
writing, but some art I can't get past. Yeah. Talking about your Scottish mate, I am indeed. Great storytelling can save bad art. Great art can't save bad writing. That is very true, Chris. Yeah. But in the case of Thundercats, both things being shit is still shit. Yeah. Yeah. The writing is needed more, but bad art can take away from a great story. Yeah. Fuzzy's read the book I was talking about. What in the shit, Fuzzy? I was like, yeah, turning the page thinking, what is this crap? Eat Your Young was really good. I'm not sure I've read that one. You guys read that one?
No.
I think it's ongoing right now. I think that's the one I'm reading right now, but I'm not sure. There was another one where they were eating people too, but I get something like confused with all these books.
Was that Eat the Rich? That was good.
Eat the Rich. That was it. Thank you. That was Eat the Rich. Yeah.
Andrew's he's not playing. He's a conscientious objector. I reject this question. He's not. It's too hard to answer.
Yeah.
Art is what catches my eyes. I've bought comics purely on cover art.
Yep.
Yeah, but have you read them, Sorrel? Do you know what I mean? That's the. I think you're right. I went down the route a while ago of buying lots of stuff about just covers, but I don't read the comic, I guess. Keegan raving about the artist from The Mummy. He definitely doesn't care about the art.
I didn't read The Mummy, Fuzzy. It's her Last of Us work that I really enjoy. So
yeah, I mean, our artwork in the Mummy is diabolical. It's awful. It is awful. But as we always say, it's subjective, isn't it? Some people's art, some people might love that style. It's just not for me. Has anyone read the first story in Detective 100? That has beautiful story. Yeah. That has beautiful story with barely any words, and the good art tells us. I don't think I've read that one. Yeah, not so that. Body Count, Jesus, that was it.
God,
awful. I think it has to be both, although I can put up with shitty story if the art is great. Take Batman Damned. Yeah, the story is tripe on that. 90% of the books you read on that show were bad. That is true as well. Vader Down was cack. Anyway, there we go. We're up to speed.
All right. This is the bonus question. Like I said, this is the part where we can ask any question. It doesn't have to do with comic books or entertainment. I am up first. If you could go see, oops, what happened?
Oh, sorry, that was me.
Okay. If you could go see one musical concert from any era, which would you choose? I originally was going to pick the Beatles, but I think I would pick Queen. I would love to have gone seen them when they were, when they were doing their concerts, just that whole era of music. I listened to them constantly on YouTube, Queen music and so on. So I think I would have picked the Queen concert to go see.
So I'm, as you know, I'm not actually big into music. I have to be honest. And I've only been to maybe 3 or 4 concerts in my life, one of which was Vanilla Ice. So yeah. And we can't have theatre performances. This has got to be a musical concert. Yeah. Well, okay, I have to stick with what I think would be the most entertaining, which would be Michael Jackson at his peak. I was a little bit obsessed with Michael Jackson back in the day before he had all of his troubles. But yeah, I'd just love to see him perform. I think that would be pretty cool.
I've seen him perform.
Have you?
Yep. Back in the day, I went to go see the Jacksons perform. Yep. Decades ago.
Wow. That'd been amazing. Did they do ABC?
Honestly, I don't remember. I'm sure they probably did. I mean, I'm talking about over 30, 40 years ago, James. I think before you were born.
Mine is also Michael Jackson, but I'll be more specific. 1988 Bad tour, where he did Dirty Diana, Bad, and Smooth Criminal, or not Smooth Criminal. Smooth Criminal is the one I love that wouldn't be there. But it's got all the classics and the kind of ones recent from the Bad album. So you got all the Thriller ones, all the Bad ones, some of the earlier stuff. I think he did a little Jackson 5 melody in there as well. I just love the production of it. He did one in 1992. And I just thought it was too over the top, where he's wearing a cod piece and shit like that. Whereas I just thought he looked awesome in the Bad tour, the costuming and everything. So that'd be my choice. Front row for that.
Very
incredible.
Cool. Lots of people are saying Queen and Michael Jackson. Spam-A-Lot. I've never seen Spam-A-Lot. I'd like to say that. Led Zeppelin. Kiss 76 Destroyer album. Yeah. Andrew, I've seen most of mine that were alive in my time, but kicking myself that I never got to see Rush. Okay. Jesus Christ Superstar with the original cast. 25. See what you did there. If we're talking no longer with us, I could name about 400. I'd go see Prime the Doors. Yeah.
That's a good
I'm
one.
talking when Jim was right in the right zone, not so drunk he gets his dick out, but oiled enough to get a contract. Always regret not going to see Queen. Yeah. The Beach Boys in the prime.
Oh, yeah. That's another good one.
Some good ones, yeah. 21 Pilots, yeah. Misread the question. Slade, Till Death Do Us Part. Ears were still ringing a week later. Nice. Early 90s, around here, Park, Leeds, he landed in a helicopter. I thought it was Jesus. Oh, the Cheeky Girls as a close second, though. Christ, are you familiar with the body of work of the Cheeky Girls, Efren?
Never heard of them, no.
I think you'll find they are the Cheeky Girls. Cheeky Girls. Cheeky Girls.
They
are the Cheeky Girls. Cheeky Girls. Who were those? Were they horrendous ones? I think they were Irish. Jedward.
Yeah, oh God, don't even start. I can't stand them. Yeah.
Mozart. I like the clothes. Yeah, that would be interesting. Highly regret never seen Ozzy. Yeah, that would have been. I think Ozzy on his prime would have been amazing. Jedward, good old Jedward. Metallica would be amazing. Johnny Cash.
Rolling Stones years and years ago too. I've seen them in San Francisco.
Bit of Jagger.
Yeah, that was like in the
80s. Bowie. When he was doing Starman, Iggy Stardust, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That would have been. I think for me, it's not necessarily the music; it's the entertainment value of the stuff they do and all the rest of it. You know. Yeah.
I used to go see this concert. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
They used to do magic tricks on their when they used to go to their concerts. It was pretty cool. They add, like you said, just the entertainment value of it all.
Yeah. When I went to Tenacious D, there was a whole animated segment that was incorporated into the show and stuff. It was incredible, projected up on screen. Like, it was really cool.
I would have liked to have seen Meatloaf as well, to be honest. I do like, and I like his music. So yeah, Gorillaz, Ozzy, and Sabbath. I'm off to see Metallica in Cardiff next summer. It was apparently incredibly expensive, Andrew. I'm not asking how much you paid, but I'm sure it was a pricey one, that one. I worked backstage at Jedward concert, and to be honest, they were a couple of nice lads. Yeah,
I'm sure they are. I absolutely have nothing against them personally. It's more their personas that they put out is sort of.
Yeah. On a side note, I was recently the most insulted I've ever been in my life when a colleague said they liked my hair as it reminded them of Jedward. I've seen Meatloaf twice. Oh wow, very cool. Lots of people saying Meatloaf was great. Parliament, yeah. Peter managed to get around to food. Well played. Got to get it in there somehow. I've never had Meatloaf. I mean, he wanted to, but I've never tasted meatloaf.
Oh wow! I just thought of another concert now. I'd like to see John Williams, the conductor, with all the music he performed. I would love to go. Unfortunately, I went to go look into his concerts. He doesn't do them hardly anymore, man. He's quite an older gentleman. If there is a concert in San Diego with his music, I'm going to try to go see it. They have an outside venue here in San Diego, right by the convention center, which is pretty cool. But yeah, John Williams would be definitely one of them.
Well played, Fuzzy. Well played. I get that one. Metallica was not cheap, but I had enough money left over to book to go to another gig the day before. Oh, very cool.
Nice.
Very cool. Yeah. Megadeth. Very good. Yeah. Good stuff. There we are then, Efren.
James, you are up next. Good question you got here, James. You ready?
Yeah. Yep. What's the most...
That's my question.
That's
your question. Sorry.
I stopped
myself.
My bad.
Sorry. I got confused. I'm old. Peter, great question. James, you're up next.
God, okay.
Yeah, I have asked this one before.
No.
I'm not sure. Fuzzy, let us know in the chat. I think we had, but yeah. I'm just interested. We know. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was just interested. We've known each other a while, guys. We don't really know what we do outside of the whole comics universe kind of stuff. So what's the most adventurous outdoor activity you've done? Have you ever done anything like skydiving, zip wiring, caving, canoeing, kayaking, all that kind of stuff?
Slight incline is probably the most adventurous for me. You know what I'm like.
You must have done stuff when you were younger, but were you not?
You said not really. I was too fat to go bungee jumping, so I wasn't allowed to do that. Skydiving, I've always wanted to. I like roller coasters, so ones I've been able to get on, I love doing those. That's adventurous, I suppose. No, the biggest thing would be scuba diving, like proper scuba diving, like
you've done it.
20 feet underwater or something like that. It was terrifying. Like you just feel the weight of it on top of you. You feel like I did it once and I said I enjoyed it, but I'm never doing that again because it was so tense and so scary. Because you feel like if you mess up, you're going to die. And it's purely up to you to not mess up. So.
We did scuba diving when I was in Turkey, and it was one. You know these excursions you get from the dodgy bloke on the beach. Oh yes, we'll take you. So we went on this boat, and the second you got on, like all the people who were instructors were like fags in the mouths and stuff with the oxygen bottles. You're thinking, and then we went to jump, and you have these weight belt things. Did you have those, James? Yeah. So my dad went in first. And then the kids, and then I went in, and I'm swimming along, and I'm looking at him. My dad's kind of fumbling all over. And what the fuck? Is he drowning or something? And I realized he's got no arse, or he had. Sorry, my dad's got no arse. So the weight belt had slipped off and was around his ankles, and he was trying to. So I started laughing in me mask, and then I suddenly remembered, hang on, I'm built the same as my dad. I've got no arse either. And my frigging belt went, and it was the most shitty experience because I couldn't relax because I was desperately trying to pull this stupid thing up.
My memory is that our ones went into slots in the jackets.
This was just like a rope. I think it was literally a rope that got off the donkey on the way and tied it around or something. You know?
So like it was cool, but I'll never do that again. But skydiving, I definitely want to do. I've been in a submarine, so that was fun as well.
Yeah,
not like a it's a on holiday submarine, not like a fucking proper industrial one, but that was really cool. I like that. I like underwater stuff. I enjoy that.
Yeah, nice. What about you, Efren?
So it got me thinking. Twice in Hawaii. Once I jumped off of a waterfall into the water, and I was younger. I was like in my 30s, and I just jumped into. It wasn't it wasn't way up, but it was enough to jump into it. And then the second time in Hawaii, I jumped right into the ocean from this cliff, basically. And my cousin was looking at me from up above, and these old ladies were going, "Who's that man out there about to jump?" And she goes, "That's my cousin." And then I've gone scuba diving too. I got my license and everything. I used to scuba dive back in the 80s too. And I did nighttime scuba diving, which is a completely different, obviously, atmosphere. We went hunting for lobster at night, and we just had a flashlight, basically underwater flashlight, where you can just go underneath. Parts of me were thinking, God dang it, if a shark comes up to me right now, I'm done.
That's
because you can't
terrifying.
see. So I've done those three things, and I've done zip lining too here in Southern California. It's really fun.
Very cool. Very cool. I've done a fair bit because of the time I was with the RAF and whatnot. So I've done abseiling, rock climbing, canoe and kayak and all that kind of stuff from the airplanes. Gorge scrambling, really, that's one of my favorite things. Really enjoyed gorge scrambling. Caving, I hated caving. I'm not built the right shape for caving.
I get anxiety watching people doing it.
Yeah.
Online. That's like,
this was down in Yorkshire. It was something called the cheese press, and the promised us, "Oh, it's all right. You'll be able to move around and stuff." Could you shit when you're on your tummy dragging yourself? That was awful. Awful. But keeping it water based. Fuzzy. I forgot any other Scots in the chat. I was once up at RAF Lossiemouth, I believe it was called, which is up at the top end of Scotland, and it's home to some of the search and rescue helicopters. Brought them in a training exercise, and basically they put you in wetsuit and buoyancy aids and stuff like that, chuck you out the back of the helicopter, and then piss off. And you've got this just bob, basically me and a couple of guys that were there, and it's all about whether the rescue helicopter can find you and locate you and stuff like that. And it was great fun, terrifying but great fun. And that was the same camp as well. I got into the bodysuit for the police dogs, and right, go and stand there, and then the dogs attack you, which was good fun. Let's see what other people have got. I went caving. She was a lovely lass, but well used. Jesus God. My most adventurous outdoor activity was streaking in Camden. Yeah. It's on the cameras. I've sat on the top of a tank being driven by my mother. Very cool. Very cool. Banger racing is the nearest I got to something death-defying. Caving is insane. Can't do tight spaces. Yeah, it wasn't my... I did it once, Kev, and I wouldn't do it. I used to have a thing when I was with the cadets that I wouldn't ask the cadets to do anything I wasn't going to do. So I always went first. And I wasn't happy about doing the caving. It was not my comfort zone at all. Bungee jumping 3 months after a knee up. You're a brave man, Wayne. I'm not a fan of bungee jumping. I think that's too risky. I've seen videos of people crawling into narrow caves and getting stuck. Yeah, that's some horror stories of that kind of stuff. If I go bungee jumping, got to make sure they tie the rope around the right leg.
Maybe you could tie your arms instead, and you can.
I'm sorry. One went to a farm once and ended up getting bit by a donkey.
Wow.
We don't get along now. Jesus. Banana boat on honeymoon and falling off and losing my wedding ring in the sea. Oh, God, Wayne. Horrendous. I used to live 20 miles from Lossie. Loved Lossie Fuzzy. I have to chat with you sometime. We went up there. We did a thing where this was before, I believe, one of the servicemen had an issue with a local, but we had a boat and egg fight where all the locals used to come up and chuck eggs and flour at the servicemen when they were trying to do this boat race thing. It was great fun. I did scuba diving training with my son-in-law who trains army recruits. All I got was an ear infection that flares up every 6 months or so. So not being back, not the middle leg. So Jesus. I've been dry ski slopes skiing, but I've never been skiing. You guys been skiing?
I've been sledding.
Yep, I used to go skiing.
I don't have the balance to ski. So I just got in a sled and I got pushed down a hill.
So James has gone for the option where he just gets to sit in his arse. Exactly, is what you're saying. Yeah.
It was cold,
I could do that.
I didn't want to get in one of those skin tight fucking things. No, thanks. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah. I went 2 weeks after breaking my wrist the Friday before when I was 17. Wow. And Fuzzy, I once overthrew a government and liberated a small African nation. Small stuff. Yeah. There we go. Good stuff.
All right, now you're up, James. This is the last
question up.
Question. You ready?
Yeah. What's the absolute best meal you've ever had? So I'm purely talking food, not like entertainment there or people you're with or whatever. Like the best, just like one of that bite of food you have and you're like, this will never be topped.
Yeah.
So for me, there was a restaurant here around the corner from the cinema in Dublin called Bee Skewer. So I remember like the week before I went with my friend Jeff, but the week before I was walking past near it and I could just smell something amazing in the air. I was like, what is that? And I was looking around and I saw it. And I was like, oh, it must be that place. Like there was a Brazilian barbecue, but not like the type with the skewers. It was just like there was burger meal deals and stuff like that. So I was I'll have to come back here. So the following week I went to see a movie with Jeff and we went, I suggested, let's go try that place. We went and it was like a tenner it was burger, chips and a drink. And they had this like African pepper sauce or something like that. But I remember the burger, it was like this green kind of mayo sauce on it and cheese. And it was cut in half and then both halves of the burger were like put on the grill. And Jeff was eating a few chips or something. I took a bite of the burger and I just stopped. And I was like, Jeff, you have to try this burger. And like we were just like in awe about how like it was to this day the nicest taste of food I've ever had. I don't think it'll ever be beaten, to be honest. And the pepper sauce was like super intense, spicy, but really, really tasty as well. Like, and unfortunately, it moved to Temple Bar and then it shut down. It's gone now. Otherwise, I would have brought you, Peter, when you were over. So that's unfortunate. But like just the best burger I've ever had, the best bite of food I've ever had. It was just insane. Like, so.
It's a hard question, that one, James. It's a hard question.
Yeah.
Efren, do you know yours, do you?
Yeah, I do. God, there's so many, hamburgers, tacos, and stuff like that. But I was in Chicago once, and I'm a big sports fan. Michael Jordan has a restaurant there, and it's a steak restaurant, and it was just like the best steak I ever had. It was just what I really remember about that though wasn't even the steak was great, but they had mashed potatoes. They call it potpourri of mashed potatoes. They give you 3 containers like in a tray. It was the best freaking mashed potatoes I ever had. I was like, oh my God, this is so good. I was there twice, and both times I went to his restaurant to eat. The steak was just so good. I mean, that's the one I remember. Well, if I had a chance to go back to eat one steak at a restaurant, it would be at Michael Jordan's restaurant in Chicago. Great steak.
Nice.
You got so many options. You gallivant to restaurants all the time.
Yeah.
I have to say the one that sticks in my mind the most was me and some guys go out every couple of months to different nice places and stuff. And we went to somewhere called Peace and Loaf, and it's I think it was 12-course tasting menu. So where you just get like little plates of food. But I also had the 12-course wine pairing as well. So that might be why it's got such good memories, because it sticks in my mind. But I just remember every single course just like blowing my mind with the flavors and stuff. And the kind of what your class as the main course was a bit of ribeye beef, but it was served with a lasagna, which was the weirdest thing. But the lasagna was about the size of a postage stamp. But I swear to God, it was the nicest lasagna I've ever had in my entire life. Yeah, that was a special place. I've been back a few times, and it's never quite met that standard. Yeah. But I think that's because the wine pairing had us absolutely hammered. But yeah, it's also interestingly the best wine I've ever had, because the last wine of the night was a dessert wine, which I don't really drink. But it was just the most incredible drink I've ever had.
Yeah, like a Moscato or something.
It was lush. Yeah. Okay, see what we've got in the chat, guys. Best meal I've ever had was, oh dear, Orlando ribs never gets pointy. I am a rib fan. I'm also a chicken wing fan, barbecue chicken wings. I don't know, but I was pissed when I ate it. Yeah, I think that's probably the same for me. This is easy. My wife and I had been living in Scott's house at Freeman. I know it well, mate. Too much stress for eating. Once things had settled down, we had a ready meal curry from Sainsbury's. Literally the best food ever. Yeah. It's that. I mean, it's not the quality of the food, Chris, is it? It's the stress leaving you, I guess, in that. But yeah, good stuff. It's either that or the stupid Simpsons donut at Universal Studios. Yeah. There's a donut place. It's not the Simpsons one, but at Universal, along the kind of the waterfront, there's a big, I can't remember what it's called, a big weird American donut place that I remember we bought a box of donuts. It was about $4,000 or something ridiculous for these donuts. And they were like with bacon on them and weird stuff. And I didn't like any of them. They were manky, absolutely manky. But there was like queues outside. There was like a big throne, I seem to remember. Anyway, I digress. I was in Seattle in 97 and had home-cooked Mexican meal. Cooked by a family I met. Fresh Mexican meals are incredible. That sounds good. Mashed potato mixed with eggs is a game changer. Egg yolks or like just like a chopped up egg, Sean?
No, you use it as a binder.
Yeah, egg yolk, yeah. I wouldn't put your egg white in there.
Some people just put a whole egg in, I think.
Banana pudding is delicious. Yeah, like that. Spotted dick. We sent you a spotted dick.
Did you eat that?
Thank you so much. Huh?
Did you eat it?
Oh yeah, of course I ate it.
Was it good?
Yeah. I mean, from what I remember, it's been about 2 years now. But yeah.
Did you have the pie, the Fry's Bentos pie?
Didn't I have spotted dick when I went to go see you guys at that fish and chips place?
Can't remember.
Can't remember.
I don't think so. Serious answer is a steak at a 5-star restaurant in Soho that I can't remember the name of. 2 a.m. Friday night. Yeah, nice. One of my favorite places to go is a place that me and James have been to in Newcastle. Well, actually, Efren's been as well. Brazilian steakhouse, Rio, where they cut the meat in front of you.
That was incredible. They bring you whatever you wanted all the time. It's like, oh my.
That's my top 3 favorite meals ever.
Yeah, it was nice.
Like the waitress asked me, was I okay? Because I just had meat sweats, and I go, yeah. And I had my thinking around, and the next thing guys goes, lamb, and I'm like, there's lamb. You know, there's lamb.
Best thing I eat. Oh God, almighty. About 45 years ago, my dad brought back from his butcher shop 4 Aberdeen Angus porterhouse steaks to celebrate a promotion. The most tender steak I've ever eaten, like cut in butter. Very nice. That's it, Sorrel. That's it. Voodoo Donut. Have you heard of them, my friend? Voodoo Donuts?
I haven't heard of them.
Big fancy store next to Universal, and they were crap. They were bloody horrible. Phil's Voodoo, yeah, I wasn't keen. The bacon one was delicious. It's dirty. I just can't get my head around it. The chili from the Hog's Breath Inn at Carmel. I haven't had chili for ages. I like it. I like it chili.
Chili. What's your thoughts on this is like an American thing now that they use donuts as the bun for a burger.
It's dirty bastards.
It's too much, isn't it? I think
it's too much.
Excessive.
Yeah. The second best was breakfast at the Premier Inn with a side of white pudding debate. Yeah. That was us, wasn't it? Yeah. You don't remember that?
I assume I was the one arguing about something. What was it?
I mean, probably, yes.
What was the debate about?
I have no idea. I blank a lot of it out, James. I have to be honest.
Oh, white pudding isn't in England or something like that?
It was probably some kind of racial undertone thing where you're telling us that we've stolen white pudding or something. You see, I thought so. Egg yolk you mix in, makes it smoother. You don't mix egg white into mashed potato. That's just filth. Egg yolks you mix in. Steak and watermelon in Belfast. Oh, that sounds nice.
Steak fried the watermelon.
Oh, sorry. Steak and watermelon. I thought, fruity yet meaty. Fried breakfast must have black and white pudding. Yeah. Steak, egg, and cheese bagels are scrumptious. I had some tuna tacos, which were awesome. Those tacos I had in Belfast were nice, man. I did like that.
The birria tacos in Camden
is
the top 10 best foods I've ever eaten, I would think, as well. That's up
There
there.
we go. We are up to date, Efren.
I believe that is the last question. Peter, what do we have up for tomorrow? We're going to be back, guys, in less than 24 hours.
Yeah. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, we have got Rusty Staples.
No, we don't.
No, I haven't. No, we haven't. We've got Panel Breakers. That many shows. That many bloody shows. We've got Panel Breakers. We're going to be talking all the latest news, looking at movies that came out in, I think it was 86 from memory. We've got our usual quiz, lots of reviews tomorrow, movies and comic books. So yeah, lots of good stuff tomorrow night.
Anything coming up with one good scare this week, or that's like next week? Or?
Yeah, we have our I'll be right back on Alien. That's up at the moment. We also have a spoiler review of Together. So that's up on the channel. Next one is going to be on The Conjuring. So I'll be right back on that during the week. And then on Friday, we're having Sorrel on for the Conjuring series special. So we talk about like our favorite moments, favorite scares from the franchise.
Nice.
And the usual comic news, horror news, and stuff like that as well.
And this upcoming Friday show is going to be live with you guys, right?
Yeah, that'll be live on Friday at 9 p.m. UK time.
That's 1 p.m. here in California. If anybody's from California or the West Coast, so 4 o'clock Eastern time. I'm getting good with the times now. Before I couldn't figure it out. But we will be back tomorrow, like with Peter's show, and we hopefully will be back in a month. I'm gonna try to do this back on a monthly basis again. I keep forgetting. You guys are gonna have to remind me.
We need to write down the questions and so remember what we've asked.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
send the list to Fuzzy first so he can tell you.
Yeah. And thanks for checking out this episode of Talking Comics, and we hope to see you. We will see you tomorrow, but for this show, hopefully we'll see you in about a month. Okay, everybody. Bye.
Bye.